tech decided not to work again tonight. I've been working with my channel, with my phone, with my iPad now for 15 minutes and nothing has worked. So switching gears and moving over to just my iPad tonight for whatever reason. It decided not to work, so I'm hoping my people that signed up will find me. Let me get my phone actually, now that I know this is not going to work. I can go from here because this is very frustrating. Hold on a second. Had to switch. Once again. Oh, this has been so maddening. I don't know what the story is. Every single week now I'm having issues with tech. I even went and sat in front of my Wi-Fi just to see if I could get it to work. No, 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 no. I don't know what the story is. I don't think I'm not alone when it comes to tech issues these days. So I'm not sure who's made it on, but I'm glad you're here. Tonight I decided to do, Sam, I can see you, good, but not my iPad. I know, it's weird, tech, God knows why. I don't know what's going on. So one of those frustrating ways, I was just so excited and so grounded and so totally dialed on what I wanted to talk about tonight, and then to have everything go sideways with the tech makes it very, very frustrating. So you have to get recalibrated and discombobulated from the disconnect, basically is what it boils down to. And you know what, if I put it as a metaphor, it's actually quite apropos for what's going on in the world. We are subjected to all kinds of turmoil and chaos that can take us off our mark, which is what just happened for me for the last 15 minutes, literally 15 minutes. So it's one of those lessons in life on how to recenter, refocus, and get back on track. So I'm looking at, I can go from here. I'm going to 2 more seconds. I'm going to write another, because I can't see it on my iPad. You can hear. So anyway, that's where we are. There. Anyway, I hope you guys have all had a really good week, considering that the world is kind of crazy. It's kind of upside down, and that's why when I thought about it, what if the Hokey Pokey really is what it's all about, came as the, hi Sheila, thanks for joining. If that really is what it's all about, I mean, think about it. Life is an illusion, really. Our world that we live in is like a matrix. I mean, who would have thought in 1999, when the Matrix was created, that it was going to be a documentary at this point in time? So we really are living within that kind of a construct. So what if the Hokey Pokey really is? I think it's working for me today. So if you think about it too, the Hokey Pokey is very similar to Simon Says. Simon Says is what so many people in the world are doing right now. They're listening to what Simon is telling them to do. And this is our time to say, not so much. Because it's really reflective of our reincarnational cycles, our traumas, our beliefs, our stories. When we recognize that, no, maybe not so much. Really, I think that's going to be the, Yelena, thanks for joining. This is going to be kind of the mantra for the night. You know, maybe not so much. Maybe this isn't what we're here for. Maybe it's up to us. Sorry, I'm getting my chair better. It's up to us to not comply with the Simon Says, with the Hokey Pokey. We're here to experience things from a new perspective. That's why we all decided to come here right now. So before I get into the topic, though, I have to start my evening now that I got the tech figured out and I'm back on my iPad and all that. So it's weird because the camera's on an iPad. It's very weird. But anyway, we're going to go with it. Again, as you know, I am an intuitive and psychic healer, energy healer. Been doing it for a very long time. Been psychic my whole life. And I don't use oracle cards. I don't use any of that. However, for this, it's really fun to pull a card. And I use one every week from my crystal oracle. And the reason is because I love crystals. And this week, I have to share, I pulled one and there was another one attached to it. So I thought, okay, we're going to check it out. And the first one is so perfect for this week, I can't even stand it. I just read the first couple keywords on it. So these are words for this week, right? For between now over the 6th. So we got a big jump, baby, on the 6th, okay? And then into the next Monday, okay? So beryl. Oh, I'll show what it looks like. This is what beryl looks like. It's a very beautiful stone, green, kind of what I would say luminescent as well as translucent, very beautiful. So, okay, beryl is about resolution, and we need a resolution on this planet, and this week is the beginning of resolution. And the thing that's really important to understand is that that resolution is also for your own personal life as well as the country, as well as the world. So resolution on so many ways. Tina, oh, looks like your earrings. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Looks like the resolution for all countries, all people, all situations. So resolution is part of where we are in this week. Now, just imagine if you have anything in your life that is not resolved, it is time to work towards resolution. And the more we all unify in our personal resolutions, we then help the collective resolution as to what's going on. Because no matter what country you're from, the bottom line is what is happening in America as the rebels that we are influences the rest of the globe. Very cool. So resolution. Think about where you have resolution that is in need of your attention. Also, stress reduction is of this week. Hi, Trace. Thanks for joining. Resolution and stress reduction. Okay, so where in your world do you need to reframe any stress? How can you address the stress in your life that may take you off your mark? How can you bring it to a place where you're more neutral? And this is going to be the topic as we go throughout the hour, because the Hokey Pokey is kind of fun. So it's a great way of reframing how we do stress and what are the things in your life that are causing the most stress. Okay, for all of us, I'm going to say it's going to be the masks, the mandates, the lockdowns. Oh, I'm not supposed to say those words, right? Upcoming vaccines, all of these things can that create stress, and or businesses being closed and kids at home from school, etc., etc. How can we not be stressed from that? Well, this is what we're going to talk about tonight, because I think this is really important. And so again, back to beryl, potential new possibilities. Now, who in the planet doesn't want potential new possibilities? I think we all do. And how perfect is that today is the 4th of January, 4th of July, that would be good. 4th of January, and we're starting a new year by our collective consciousness agreement that this is a year. This is the beginning of a new year. The Chinese don't start their new year until the first moon of the winter, and then in the past, the new year started as of the solstice. So however you want to look at your year, this is the beginning. So I'm going to read this really quickly. An ongoing problem or dilemma will soon be resolved in an unexpected way. I will think that's fantastic. Again, I think there are going to be some huge bombs, truth bombs that are delivered, not only today, tomorrow, Wednesday is going to be a big one, but from here on out. And what's important is that everybody in the chat, everybody who's here, anybody who watches, is that it's your job to step up and help those people that are going to be quite challenged with some of the truths that are coming out. Truths about people that they have known and trusted and liked and loved as their icons, their heroes, their heroines, etc. There are going to be more of these truths that are revealed. So in this revealing is when you really have the opportunity to step up into your job, into your place as to why you came here at this time in life. So I think we've got some good stuff happening. In fact, I know it. I know it in my heart. I know it in every cell in my body. As a consequence, your stress levels and anxieties will decrease. I'm all for that. Yay, this is fantastic. Through this, exciting new pathways open for you, and you discover new possibilities for your life. Okay, invitation is to really sit down with yourself. What is it that you would like to add to your possibility list for this year? What are the things that you would like to create in spite of the lockdowns, in spite of the mandates, in spite of all the nonsense? What are the things that you would like to focus on? And it can be something as simple as just taking more walks, to taking more hot baths to help with the stress. It can be reaching out and volunteering where it's needed, because with so many people having lost their jobs, there is more need of help. So you're going to think about all the things you want to put on your personal cosmic map that would make your heart feel good. This is most important. As this current situation is resolved, you will simultaneously and subconsciously let go of a past regret or guilt that has only served to sabotage the creative possibilities that have been available for you for quite some time. It's time for you to shine. This is really exciting, guys, and you know why? Because when you shine, the world shines. It's really up to us individually to make it a collective shift in consciousness. It's up to all of us. Do I need to turn that light down a little bit with my glasses? Anyway, so think about this in terms of your own personal truths. Any places that you need resolution. I'm really going to go with that word tonight, because where are things not resolved? And I don't know about everyone. However, most of us have things we could still look at and say, okay, I need to shift this. I need to work with this. I need to add energy into this so that I can be a better human being, so I can do more, so I can be all that I came here to be. And then when you do that, you share that with others, and you give other people hope, and you give them optimism, and you give them a grounding rod in which to be stabilized. Right now, it's a bit challenging, I know, for many people, and what's most important is that they anchor into the groundedness of the planet. So if you are a little stressed, get outside, even if it's raining or if it's stormy, which it was for me here today. It was real windy and cold. I still got outside and just took my time walking my very old dog, but in doing so, it helps ground you into the energies of this earth. Just helps you decompress, and that's what's really, really important at this point in time. So I like this. This is a great card. Oh, I wanted to share one other thing. The other card that stuck to it is the Tumbled Stones card. And this is all about rainbow healing. And I'm going to just read just the first part of this. Today marks the start of a new beginning, a new way of looking at life and the world around you. So if you can embrace that, do so in every way you possibly can. How can you look at life? For example, imagine your glasses and you take them off, or you put on another pair of glasses and you look like, oh, I hadn't looked at it from that way. Imagine sitting on a table that, you know, you have all these people around this long dining room table and everybody changes chairs. Then you look at things from a new perspective. And if we can all do that every single day, all of a sudden the challenges that we have can be resolved, back to that word, because we're looking at it in a new, with new eyes. Be it in dreams or through beautiful rainbows, you are being infused with light and blessings, and relax. Surrender your concerns to the universal light of love and allow this wondrous healing to occur. And we need that more than ever right now, is this embracing of the light. Now, what I have discovered, what I know to be true, is we tend to operate from a place of separation, right? I live alone, as an example, and so my kids live, my one son lives nearby, my other son lives in Seattle. So in a sense, there's a level of separation. So we think this way. We think that because I'm here and you're in Canada or Minnesota or wherever, that we have this area of separation, when in truth, we are all connected by light, by energy, by frequencies. Is why I can work from my house to your house and get everything rebalanced. It's because it's in the same way that we are all connected as one unit of consciousness, even though we are separate like cells in the body. So when we focus on our connectivity and our part of the all consciousness of the universe, then when we bring that into our thought processes on a day and unite the unity within us, that's when we can really shift. And what happens as we go about our day, we get distracted, we get thrown out of our circle of light, our connection. But when we come from this space, everything else just falls away. Even all the nonsense beyond our boundaries, it dissolves because it's not in our focus. So the more we've talked about this before, stand in your light, you're embraced by your light connection to source, and you breathe in that energy and just breathe in the oxygen, as they tell us to wear masks and not be able to breathe. Nonsense to that. So breathe in. You know, if anybody tells you that you need a mask to breathe, no, say, sorry, no, I've got an exemption. I'm exempt. I am exempt because I am here to breathe oxygen. That's what you are here for as well. Breathing in oxygen. So when we embrace being part of all that is, through our conscious connection, we can then bring back the oxygen in our own lives, but also in other people's lives. We need to be the light. And I know sometimes you probably question that. You've questioned that you're not worthy. Nonsense. You wouldn't be here right now listening to this if you weren't on some level ready and prepared to take on this responsibility. That just sharing the love, sharing the light, sharing the breathing, sharing that breath of oxygen. This is fundamental, very fundamental. Because when you think about it, what we fear we resist, and what we resist we fear. So it's this conundrum. It's this dichotomy. It's the polarities of frequencies, and that's why we're here on this planet right now, right? Is this polarity of left and right, dark and light, shadow and light, and then masculine and feminine, on and on and on. But we experience these polarities on purpose, so that when we exit and then we come back in for another bodily experience, we are learning every what's the degree? There we go. Every degree of experiential, I will use the word karma, every experiential karmic situation, so that we gain and grow from our heart. Okay? So that's why we are in this huge polarity right now. This I'm right, you're wrong kind of polarity. Shaming those who don't wear masks. Shaming those who think differently. Well, okay, that's great, that's wonderful, but in truth, again, we're all one, and what we resist persists, and resistance is always about fear. So my invitation back to this is to look in your own mirror, look at the resolutions in your life, and then step up, stand in your conscious connection with Source, and realize that you came here to be a light. And I'm just your mirror to remind you to do that with your friends, your family, people you don't know in a grocery store. Take your mask off and smile at them and say, enough of this nonsense. This is about shifting the planet, and the only way we do that is with ourselves first, coming from our heart, coming from this place of alignment, this place of, okay, what if the hokey pokey really is what it's all about? Because then we add humor to it, we add levity to it, we add a sense of cosmic connection when we tap into the hokey pokey, because it's really funny. I mean, it's a funny game, and then it takes us out of the Simon Says nonsense, saying, no, not going to comply with that. So with this, okay, what we're dealing with this on the planet right now is, and we've heard this a lot, is the whole 3D consciousness. Well, again, we've talked about this before, but this is so critical at this point in time. 3D consciousness on a certain level. Of course, we live in three-dimensional, right? We look around us and we can see things. Well, 3D also corresponds to our third chakra, our solar plexus. And our solar plexuses are all about, you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to repeat till it becomes secondary knowledge. It's all about empowerment and self-empowerment and disempowerment. We have so many people on the planet right now that are in their last throes of disempowerment. They have been doing the disempowerment game for centuries, and then most recently in decades. They have been doing the disempowerment game at the expense of humanity. Well, guess what? The tides are turning. However, no blame on them, because we have been acquiescent. We have been complacent. We haven't said, no, this is enough, right? So this third chakra energy, this disempowerment frequency of moving out of 3D and moving up into the heart and into the throat, is what's going to shift it. That's what this whole cosmic shift is about. That's what the 21st was about. This is this new energy, and these energies are going to be anchored in even more as of the equinox, the summer solstice, the fall equinox, and then again, I mean, these energy pivotal points on the earth are ways of uniting Gaia. I'm just feeling this Gaia with the cosmic energies as well as humanity, because we're very connected into the grids and the cosmos. So when we tap into these frequencies and really just kind of feel them, then we become stronger. We become more enlightened. And enlightenment means we literally become physically lighter as we move out of that third dimension, solar plexus energy of disempowerment. And we are just as guilty. I'm going to go there for just a second. Disempowering our own selves because we are saboteurs. We sabotage ourselves all the time. You know, and it can be, well, I'm not good enough for this job, to, oh my God, I put on so much weight over the holidays, to whatever. I mean, we sabotage ourselves, right? So that's, again, disempowerment. We do it to ourselves. So, of course, the outer world is going to mirror that same kind of thought process back to us. So the more that we say, no, oh, catch that thought, okay, can't sabotage myself. You have to be so mindful of this, okay? So when you start going to sabotage, start thinking the hokey pokey, start dancing. What if that's what it's all about? It's just dancing and having fun. When we move into levity, we move into comedy. When we move into fun and humor, we change the vibration of how we think, how our bodies are, how our minds are. And when that happens, we become lighter. We literally become physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually lighter. And we connect in with the cosmic alignment of which we are a part, right? So when you do that on a regular basis, imagine if you did that, stop the sabotage every day, and you got to work at it. And you work on that every day, and that's mindful. That's kind of a mental action, to be honest with you, because the sabotage is just old programming in the computer of the brain, and then the mind kind of takes over and runs rampant. So imagine this as a brain, and as a computer, and just start saying, okay, out with the old Windows 96. Oh, good. I know it's not easy. Take it out, stick in a new program, and be mindful. And as we've been told over and over again, to change a belief, to change a thought process, to change a habit, it takes a moon cycle, 28 days. So when you do this on a regular basis, and write down, I'm queen of the yellow pad. So take a yellow pad, write it down. So you're going, okay, what am I working on today? What am I needing to shift? What do I need to let go of? Because recognize, every time we self-sabotage, the outside world will reinforce that. So again, everything is so connected. So when we let go of these old habits and patterns mindfully, we then help move the disempowerment out of our solar plexus, and it allows us to move into that fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional frequency of coming from the heart. We have so many people talking about 5D consciousness. Okay, great. I love it. Sounds wonderful. Are we in light body yet? Not there. Have we moved completely into our heart consciousness? Probably not yet. We've got so much polarity. But it doesn't mean we can't move towards it by working on that solar plexus of disempowerment, self-disempowerment, empowerment, and self-recrimination. Again, we're seeing that played out externally, and then moving up into our hearts and coming from that place of love. When we do that, we are not only empowering ourselves, we're empowering our children, we're empowering our friends, because we're coming from a place of wholeness within ourselves. So get in the habit every day in your light, connect to source, ground to the planet. We really need the grounding right now. And you can ground if you want. If you don't feel like you want to be connected to earth, you can be connected in your mind from the body into the black hole of consciousness within our solar system. You can do that. Both work. I'm right now very connected to the earth, so I'm a believer that the more we connect in with Gaia, the more we help her ascend and move her frequencies up. She's ahead of us, to be honest with you. It's humanity that's a little behind the 8 ball, right? So the other thing with this, we're going to keep continuing with this, is when we have challenges, right? The challenges that are coming up on our plates right now are very important, because these are situations that haven't been resolved in, I just drew myself a hot bath, all kinds of sauce. Good job, Tina. I love it. Now where was I? Sorry, I read her stuff because those, since I'm on my iPad, those messages disappear so quickly, is when I just looked at my notes so I could go back in, sorry. When we do these sabotaging, we have to get to a place of saying no more, right? I'm not going to sabotage myself anymore. Well, that's also true when it comes to the bigger picture of old issues that have come up on our plate from other lifetimes, because whether people want to face it or not, we are in a reincarnational cycle. It is just the law of the universe. We will talk more about that as the night wears on. And in this place of recognizing the bigger picture, when we say no more to self-sabotage, we can also say no more to carrying the load from other lifetimes, carrying the load of challenges. When they show up, what happens is we become immersed in them, right? We become sucked into the drama of this and that and this and that, and then we become part of that play again. We become part of that soap opera again. And I'm trying to think of the right words, the clear direction to change that dynamic, whether it's in a relationship with a spouse, to your children, to your parents, to jobs, doesn't matter, right? And it's usually all of these patterns have to do with emotion, with relationships. It could be a relationship with money as well. You know, thinking you're always poor, or thinking that I will never be rich. Same kind of concept, but other wording, but they still apply. You know, all of these relationships, when they come up, are usually carryovers from other experiences in your life, but other lifetimes out there. So when they're very major, just trust that these are situations that have come up on your radar to clear. And to do that is you literally have to be so strong, so mindful to say, okay, enough. I don't want to be sucked in the drama. And how you do that is by imagining yourself on the top of a mountain and looking down. We've talked about this before, and not being sucked into the replay, because that's what we're doing, is we're replaying the stories. So when you stop and say, I'm out, I don't want to do this, I'm not going to engage, I'm going to draw the line in the sand, love you, you're wonderful, you're fabulous, not my story. I know that sounds callous and cold, especially with family members and loved ones. However, when we step out of it, then we can stop the karma. We can stop the drama. Now, here's the thing about karma. Karma, we've been told for such a long time, is a negative. Well, not necessarily. It's what it is we need to put a different definition on it, in my perspective. Karma in the dictionary should say experiential experiences, experiential moments in one's life. That's what karma is. It's what you put out, you bring back. It doesn't have to be negative. It can be good. And it doesn't have to be from, oh my God, you know, that kind of concept. Because in the picture of, let's put it this way, from divine consciousness, there is no sin. There is no wrong or right way. It's just an experience. So karma isn't right or wrong. It's just an experience. So when we look at it that way, we take off the shame and the blame off of ourselves, which is really important. And then we go, okay, I get it. No more. I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to engage in this anymore. Even though you love these people beyond life, you don't have to engage anymore. For example, I'll use me as an example. And I'm not suggesting you have to do this, okay? I'm not saying that at all. In my marriage to my kid's father, there were certain things that I worked on. We were together for 19 years, married 18, and they just didn't change. After a while, I'm going, God, what's that, the definition of insanity, right? Beating my head up against the wall with the same requests, and I finally said, I can't do this anymore. So I had to make the change. I had to move out of the drama and say, okay, I'm out. I can't do this anymore, and move forward. Right? And there are times in your life when we have to make those kinds of resolutions to change. That ability to say, okay, I'm out, no more. I'm not going to be sucked into the drama. Now, a friend of mine today called. I've known him since I was 16. He got on the phone. I go, well, hi, how are you? instantly into having to put his dog down today. I haven't talked to him in a year. And then went into all the dramas of his kids and his ex-wife and blah, 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 blah. Good man, okay? Very good man. However, when you get sucked into that drama, oh, Chrissy, it's great. I'm glad you're here. When you get sucked into those dramas, then you become part of that cycle, and you don't need that, because their stories, even though they could be your children or your ex-spouse or whatever, you don't need to have that. Doesn't mean you don't love them. And I think that's where we get hung up in today's world, that if you're not involved in their drama, that you don't care. And that's absolutely the opposite of the truth. What is necessary actually is to reframe that and step out of the dramas and say instead, I love you enough to disengage from your dramas. And when you want to step out of the nonsense and come over here and talk to me with love, respect, and with logic, in that, then I will help you resolve the issue. But when you repeat, you have to recognize you are the common denominator, right? When you're observing somebody in your life. So disengaging is so important, because then it puts you out of their spin and puts you in a place of empowerment. And that's what this is all about, is empowerment. We are here to self-empower. Again, third chakra issues moving into our heart. And when we do that, we can share that love, that light, that energy, that vibration with those around you, your family, because let's be honest, that's where most of the dramas are. Family, friends, neighborhoods, the universe, right? Everything that we've got going on the earth right now on our little prison planet. So if we all start doing this, just imagine if everyone on the planet did this, we would change the planet, right? Because we're all taking self-responsibility. When we take self-responsibility, can you tell I get so excited? When we take self-responsibility, we change the planet, okay? So again, we have to disengage from the drama. We have to go to the top of the mountain, look down, say enough, no more. And when we do that, we not only, oh, Sybil's here, nice, I love it. Not only do we become stronger within ourselves, but we share that, and then we mirror that out to the collective. Because again, we talked about last week, remember, or the week before, I don't remember, timelines. We live in timelines. We have 7.3 billion timelines, and we have a universal timeline going on. So when we are all taking care of ourselves, we start to shift the global timelines, which is fantastic. So I will probably repeat this many times, because this is how we shift the planet, is we have to come out of this disempowerment, third chakra issues, into the heart and loving ourselves, forgiving ourselves. I mean, it's funny, the other day I had a moment going, ooh, that was probably one of the most stupid things I've ever done in my life, right? One of those. And I'm going, okay, Candia, I need to forgive myself, because that was years ago. I can't change it. I can't take it back. But what I can do is I can forgive myself and the situation. It may take a little work, I'll be honest. However, it's okay. It's like changing the dynamic, because my feeling is this particular situation that I'm talking about was probably triggered from some old karma, right? Karma meaning experiential experiences with other people and their and our emotional connections to it. When we do that and then we have to change it, this is key. And then when that situation has been resolved, but that emotion is still stuck within us, hope this is making sense, then we have to go in and forgive ourselves, so that we then, again, clear up the karma, the drama, the carryovers from other lifetimes, the carryovers from the different chapters in our lives, so we can move out of that third chakra and move into this heart center chakra. Okay, then we get to do the hokey pokey, because that's really what it's all about. That's the part we have forgotten about, right? We have forgotten that we are here to be creative, happy, caring, sharing, loving human beings. And the reason this is so is because, again, this has been a planet, a prison planet of reincarnational cycles of one extreme to the other. Very, very hard polarities. These hard polarities have taught us many things of what to do and what not to do. And sometimes they're challenging. And I have a sense this year that there are going to be some major challenges for a lot of people. And these people are the ones that have been like the old monkeys, right? hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, because they don't want to believe that anybody out there could be as heinous as some of these people on the planet are. And I won't name names. And their worlds are going to be literally shattered and shaken up. And that's why this is so important for us to do the work so that we can help them get through the situations, because they're coming. They just aren't trusted. For just a little bit aside on that, because of the 6 coming up, I don't know if any of you do Twitter. I do Twitter. I'm a junkie. I'm much better, I have to admit. However, one of my guys that I follow, Lynn Wood, he put out a lot of great intel. He's been dropping big bombs because of our upcoming days, and he talked about things I've been talking about for 2 decades, right? Most people thought I was crazy. Well, you guys know I'm crazy anyway, so it's okay. But he's bringing out all this stuff on children, trafficking, pedophilia, cannibalism, blah, 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 all these wonderful, horrible things on the planet. Again, that's why by bringing this up, it's a reminder, and most people can't handle that. Okay, that's cool and fine and wonderful, but the truth is going to come out. And when this does, this is your job. That's why I'm talking about this. Move out of your own personal resistance. Move out of your own fear, and moving out of that 3D disempowerment, 3-dimensional, third chakra issues into the heart, so that you can open up and share your truths and love and help them come through this portal of truth that's going to be dropped on many people's laps. And this is the year. I've been talking about this for a year. For those who know me, I did TikTok. I talked about this. I've talked about it in my blogs and in my newsletters. 2021 is the year of revealing. And this revealing is going to shock a lot of, are you talking to me? I am. Of course I am. This is the year of revealing. And hold on. So again, what that means is for each of us to really look within ourselves and go, okay, what do I need to resolve yet, so that I can be as clear and as open and loving and light-bodied as possible to be there for others. Not in their drama, no, but be there for them by loving them, by giving them support. And when they go off on their dramas, say, okay, I love you for that. Let's work on resolutions. Let's work on tools for that. And speaking of tools, okay, here's something that's very important too, is I've always talked about having your arsenal of tools with us. I always have carried what I call my little energetic bag of tools to help you through situations. For example, if you are one that tends to go down the rabbit hole, these are the people that are of the blue frequency, the blue soul ray. They are the ones most likely to go down the rabbit hole, to go into despair, despondency, depression, to have addictions. It's the #1 ray on the planet. Well, they need, in their little toolbox, they need shovels to make sure that the holes are always filled up so that they don't go down the rabbit hole. So my invitation to you is to create a toolkit that you can carry on your hip, and you probably are going to need some new tools, because the energies on the planet are shifting. How we are doing things is shifting. I mean, all this virtual stuff now. I love teaching in person. That hasn't been possible this past year. So we're having to recreate. So you need new tools in your toolkit. So think about this in a very creative way. What are the things that you need in your arsenal, in your creative arsenal that you carry with you at all times, that will give you strength, courage, resilience, resolve? I can keep going with the words for what it is that we're dealing with as a collective right now. And some of these things, some of your old tools might not work anymore. Maybe you need to put in some new tools. Maybe you need to put in some wings so you can fly, an invisibility cloak so you can disappear sometimes. Because sometimes everybody wants you and you're going, I need a break. So you put on this invisibility cloak. The key with the invisibility cloak is to remember to take the damn thing off. Because sometimes when you need to have people see you, you're still under your invisibility cloak. And trust me, energy is real. So when you do these things symbolically and in your mind, they are just as real as putting on a blue sweatshirt, okay? So if you know that ahead of time, think about what you want to put into your arsenal, your tool kit that is there for your help at all times. Along that line, I'm just going to segue, hadn't thought about it till right this very second, In your toolkit, you can also include um, like totem animals, like the native aboriginals around the planet have always used totem animals as symbols of their strength, of their courage, of their dynamism, right? All these different things. So I have had a totem with me for decades and decades. I even created totems for my children when they were little. We still talk about them. So if you have a moment, you just call in your animals to you, part of your toolkit. So please think about how creative you can be with your toolkit. It could be that you need an extra telescope so you can see more clearly, or you've got special earbuds. Again, this is all energetic, so you can hear more clearly, so you can hear and discern the truth. This is very important. Oh, I think this is a good one to add for everybody, is a set of earbuds, because right now we have been told so much disinformation, so many lies. Oh my God. You have to be a magician sometimes to discern the truth and hear this. For example, this last week, I think it was Friday. I'm losing track. It was New Year's Day, so that night, the rumor mill came out and hit really hard that Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, had stepped down. I'm going, why the hell would he step down 1 week before the 6th? This is crazy. But this went out. It even went out on UK headlines. I mean, all over the UK, it went out that Vice President Pence stepped down. So then I started getting different triangulations on different websites. I had a couple people that I know that give me information. We share information. I got hit with that, going, oh, wow, this is interesting. Is this true? And this is why I think everybody needs earbuds to be able to hear and discern the truth. So add these into your toolkit, okay? Put in some music in there too to make it fun. Again, back to the hokey pokey. But seriously, think about things you can add into your toolkit, your psychic toolkit, to maneuver and manage through the chaos. Because the chaos, folks, is not going to go away just yet. I would love to say that it is. However, even when I say that, I've got to backtrack on that, because your personal world doesn't have to be chaotic. The outside world can be, but it doesn't mean your inside world has to be. And the reason is because you're in alignment with Source, because you're grounded, you're connected, because you're disengaging, you're saying no. Thank you, Sheila. You're saying no. You've got your toolkit on your hip going, no, not going to do that. And when you do that, you always feel connected. You never feel alone. You never feel isolated. You can reach out to those you love. So if you look at life through this lens, you can help so many people. You can shift things. Okay, this is really important. So we can do the hokey pokey. You can have your totem animals. You can have your earbuds. Because again, discerning the truth right now is absolutely imperative. And it doesn't matter what country you are from. I don't know if you know this. I've talked about this for ever, 15 years at least, that the media, as we know, is owned by 5 corporations. And that's not just the United States. That's 5 corporations globally that own the news stations. Okay, when that happens, you have to really be discerning, because they're just bombarding us with so much nonsense, so much untruth, so many lies. So it's really important to get your earbuds in of discernment and discretion, right? Your discretionary ability to go, nope, 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 nope. And you're going to find that, exactly, it's mind shaping, it's mind control. You're going to find that the more you tap into your cosmic earbuds, that the more you're going to go, oh my God, that's not true. That's not true. That person's lying. Oh, ooh, but that's really true. I can really feel. Even though you may have always decided you love Tom Hanks and you love his movies, you think he was just fantastic, all of a sudden you're going, that doesn't feel right. Because why? Because you've got your discernment going. You've got your earbuds on. You've got your toolkit ready and handy for you to really pick up on the truth. Because this is so important. As light workers, you are all light workers. You're all here to share your love, your light with others. Your job, more than ever in your life, is to discern the truth, to hear the truth, to feel the truth, to taste the truth, because that's what this year is about, is truth. One of my friends on Facebook, she was saying, okay, what's the word for your year. Somebody said love, somebody said sovereignty. For me, this year is truth, and it's the revealing. It's really the revealing and the revelation. So the more you are in alignment with this, and you are in alignment with your toolkit, you're in alignment with your own truth, you're in alignment with your connection to the cosmos, then you have the ability and the power to help everybody else around you. And that's a great thing. That's just a great thing. That's when the Hokey Pokey comes in. I actually, to be honest with you, I have that sign on my wall in my kitchen. What if the Hokey Pokey really is what it's all about? Because to me, it's the irony, it's the humor. Makes me laugh every single time. I think the other one I have on my, again, this humor, on my fridge, and I am the worst at quotes, but it is something about heaven and hell, and that the numbers, the numbers going into hell is much higher than the ones going into heaven. So that's a bit revealing, right? I love stuff like that. Anyway, sorry, that was a segue. Okay, I've just got my quick little notes. So just remember that every situation, I know, it's a great song. Every situation is to remind you to look in the mirror, right? Because it's always about us. Yeah, loving tenderness is very powerful. Exactly. Okay, and then also, sorry, I had something in my eye. Think about when situations trigger you, because again, this is the bigger picture. When situations trigger something within you, then rather than react, take a moment, take a deep breath, go in to yourself and feel where it gets triggered, where in you that situation was triggered, so that you can change it. And again, it goes back to no more, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to react that way. Enough is enough. And that goes, again, globally to personally. When we do that, we can change and let go of the old karmas and the old reactionary stories that we have propagated over lifetimes. Because whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, the truth is we have been reincarnated over and over and over again. It's Groundhog's Day every day. It's just what it is. So, okay, I'm just going to, basically the mantra for that, this is really good because I wrote down different notes. When we do that, it strips the challenges of their power when we don't allow those feelings to disempower us, okay? It strips the challenges of their power. When we look at them in the mirror, we forgive ourselves, we let them go, say enough, we clear those patterns, and that comes from patterns in this life to other lives. So how do we do it? Let me give you a great visual for this. Again, hear this when I say this. We are stripping challenges of their power. So imagine that the life you've been on, we're at Grand Central Station, and we're on a train, and this is what we've been on. We've been looking out the window, and we stop along the milk run, da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, all of a sudden we say, no more. We're moving out of this energy. We're moving out of this frequency. We're stripping the challenges of the power. We are literally getting off that train and hopping on another train, another direction, another destination. And that's exactly what we did cosmically, consciously, and collectively on the 21st of last month, the winter solstice. We did that collectively because we literally got on a new trajectory. We got on a new path. We got on a new forward momentum, okay? When we did that, that is giving us a whole new destination. So when we have situations that still arise in our lives, when we mentally reframe it in our mind, going, no, I'm not on that train anymore, and we get off and get on this train, and you're going, oh, I really like this. I get to stop at all these beautiful little towns and oases and resorts and just fun, and I get to go visit all my family. When we do this in our mind, again, adding that with our tool kit, we then create that other destination. Again, we are doing this individually, but then individually we unite that collectively, if that makes sense, because that's how it does. That's how it works. It's how it works energetically. So again, I want you to remember that when we say enough, we are stripping the challenges of their power. Yeah, putting up a spiritual force field. That's great. That's good. It's really true. We've got to really work with the spiritual energies around us. I think that's beautifully said, is you imagine, again, in your light, I have my book on it, Soul Rays, and you put yourself in that bubble of light and those spiritual boundaries of light so that they have Teflon on them and the energy comes down, just like that, right? The energy comes off, the negative energy, and you're in alignment, then those issues, those challenges that we are literally neutralizing, they disappear. They no longer impact us, and we disengage from it. So maintaining that. However, that is a mindful journey on a daily basis. When you wake up, when you fix your breakfast, when you're driving, whatever, to see that light and just make it, tap that third eye, that pituitary pineal gland activity within you. Again, the pineal connects us to our cosmic self. The pituitary, we want to activate that because it's our master gland that activates our endocrine system. And when our endocrine system is in alignment and happy and healthy, guess what? We are happy and healthy, because our hormones go like that. So when we do that, again, tap that in, go and just kind of close your eyes, visualize that light around you, then away you go. And again, it helps to strip the challenges of their power when we do that. I think it's really important. Okay, we got our toolbox. This is really important. And also, in terms of the external world, I think we've talked about this before, but it's really, I think, a great example. Again, if there is no sin, there are no wrong turns. We just have the experiential experiences, and that we then have to work with the ramifications of those experiences, right? We get the push me, pull you from that. The different players that are out there on the world stage today, the Faucis, the Gates. I really identify Gates as the Emperor and Fauci as Darth Vader, right? Maybe Fauci can be turned, Gates not so much. Fauci maybe still in there has a soul. Oh, I hope so. We're going to keep sending him light that he wakes up and, tells the world to stop this nonsense. But we need these players to say what we're not going to do anymore. So if we recognize who they are, again, by keeping them outside of ourselves, and we don't bring them on, we just send them love, going, okay, we need you in our lives. We need to be the Luke Skywalkers, right? When we do that, we are creating from our sense of consciousness. So the more you open up your consciousness, the more you are awake to what's being played out with your new vision, your new psychic vision, your new cosmic ears, your ability to speak your truth, your ability to discern through your touch what is real and what's not, and also through your touch, eating foods, drinking drinks that are going to fuel your body, because this is so important. Because when we are clouded by chemicals in our food, our water supplies, we don't think as clearly. And that's been definitely a momentum that's been put out there, that's been propagated on purpose. Because when we are dumbed down, we don't have power, right? So back to the powers that you have put in your toolkit, that you've got special gloves on, that you are reaching for the best and highest food vibrations to energize your body, for the best drinking sources to fuel your body, so that you will have a clear head and mind. So again, you are being able to put all the pieces of this together. Okay, I think this is really important, because when you do this, your consciousness, your awareness level expands, and when you are doing that, you are able to manifest that much more quickly, because you are coming from a level of your consciousness. If you are not creating the things that you desire, then mirror up time, tool bag on, and recognize you need to change some of those tools so that you can be more conscious about your thought processes. Okay, when you are more conscious, you can create more readily. Does that make sense? So if there are things and habits that are holding you back, old traumas, then enough, clear them out by forgiving them. Forgive yourself. I know it's not easy, but when you say enough and you change tracks, that's when things can shift. Now, I had some questions that came out, because I put it out to different clients and things today, about talking about the hokey pokey and making it fun, and the traumas and reincarnation. So a couple of the questions that I want to talk about real quickly, because they're very good. They're very good questions, because there might be questions that you have. Maybe these will help, because I'm out there all the time, and most people have, this is my job, this is my life, right? So most people have jobs in which they have to go to. Your mind is focused on someplace else. Maybe you're selling, or you're doing real estate, or you're a school teacher, whatever, right? So with that, I have the ability to go out there on a more regular basis. Question. These are about traumas, about clearing traumas. Past traumas can create emotional imbalance, but can they also create spiritual blocks? Great question, because the emotional imbalances that come from past traumas can definitely set us up. Now, can that create spiritual blocks? On a certain level. I'll give you an example. You wouldn't think that, right? However, let's say in another experience, a parallel lifetime, you were a woman that, we're going to go there, 1600s, and you were a woman that was an herbalist. You were a gardener, and you went out into the fields, and you picked your herbs, and you knew which ones worked because your great-grandmother, your grandmother, you know, your mother taught you about the healing ability of these herbs, and so you guys didn't, your family didn't get sick. However, other people did, and then they started thinking of you as, because it was so religious at that time and so indoctrinated with so much fear, that then you are, well, how come you didn't get sick? Well, maybe you're working with the devil, and you're going, what are you talking about? I'm working with the plants. However, what happened with so many women is that they were basically had rocks tied around their feet and thrown into ponds. If they sunk, that meant they were innocent. If they didn't sink, what house it was. Anyway, either way, you drowned. Didn't matter. You're dead. Or they burned you at the stake, or they tar and feathered you, or they stripped you naked and sent you out. So think about that. If you're out there connecting with the energies of Mother Earth, and you're connected to Source when you're doing this and really feeling this energy, and then all of a sudden you are burned and or drowned from this experience, that can set up a fear in the next life or subsequent lifetimes that says, I don't think I want to go there. I think I'll just follow the rules, what everybody else says, so that I don't get into trouble. So yes, on a certain level, it can create those spiritual blocks until something or some experience comes into your life to say, okay, I don't need to do that. I'm not going to be tar and feathered this life. I'm not going to drown and be tied with stones. I'm not going to be thrown into a pond. I'm not going to be burned at the stake. And then you can go, I'm going to embrace this again because I know it's true in my heart. But those kind of situations can stop us. And we have to go through the experience of being blocked so that we can regain the momentum once again. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's a great question. Okay, here's another question on traumas. How do we clear traumas if I can't remember them specifically? Great question. Okay. What happens with traumas or experiences? There will be things in this particular life, this particular chapter, because even within our own lifetime chapter, lifetime, we go through various chapters. For example, I was married, divorced, married, widowed, different chapters, right? So new chapter. So these are different sections. So within your life, my life, we have these different situations, traumas that arise. Some of those are going to be carryover memories that link into other experiences that you chose to bring into this life so you can gain more from it. Again, I'll use myself as an example. I had two other men in my life, one that I was engaged to for a couple of years, and then another guy that I was totally in love with. They both died young, and if I had stayed with them, I would still been a widow. I married another man, I became a widow. So from the big cosmic karmic sky, I was on some level obviously supposed to experience, didn't matter the person, I was supposed to experience how it felt, what it meant to go through a death of a loved one, of a partner. It's an experience, and it's all in how we embrace it. Okay? So that trauma I can hold on to, and I'm sure it's a carryover from other experiences too, where I had the ability to change my reaction, or better yet, my response to the situation. So by changing the experience, how we handle it, we clear those traumas, even if we don't remember them specifically from other lifetimes out there. I hope that makes sense. So, for example, as a widow, I could have stayed stuck in that. I could be like the women in, I hate to say this, but in Greece or Italy that wear black forever and never move on with their life and talk incessantly about how fantastic, how wonderful their husbands were. They've made them into gods. Or in this life, I let it go thanked him for the experience, and have moved on and embraced being single and where I am now and what can I learn from this. So I took a situation and shifted it, okay? So there's a trauma. So you can do the same thing with any kind of traumas, from losing a child to a divorce, to losing a job, to parents, loss of relationships. I mean, it goes on. And usually our biggest traumas are always wrapped around our heart and our emotions. So when we look at them and change how we look at it from reaction to response, say, no more, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get on this cycle. It's just an experience that the universe set up in conjunction with me. I set it up for myself. No big guy in the sky said, okay, this is what you need to do, Candia, or this is what you need to do, Sam, or this is what you need to do, Tracy. No, this is about you choosing this experience so that you can be better rounded, more compassionate, more empathetic, more loving. That's why we do these things. So when you look at it that way, then you can say, okay, I've changed it. Cool. Next, and you move on. Again, we moved off that main train and moved into the next one. So great questions. Thank you for that. I love that. And I see, okay, and that the next question kind of worked around that as well. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I want you to think about the Hokey Pokey and having fun with this. Recognize we've got, thank you, Yelena, that we've got lots of big things on the horizon this week. With the 6th, I'd watched a video earlier today and talking about, from the UK, talking about the pivotal moment that we have with the 6th. And I invite you all to look at fringe elements of news resources. Use your new tools, right, to really tune into life from a higher perspective, because when you do, all those things are behind you, right? They don't collect in your space anymore. And you can do this even with your family members. You can look at them through new eyes, through new vision of looking at the experiences they are going through to expand their soul's knowledge, because that's really what it's all about. So, and again, I love this sentence, I don't want to screw it up. Strip challenges of their power. That is your mantra for this week, in addition to the barrel stone, because that's really good, opening up to new possibilities. So with that, I send you all love and light, and have a great week. Let's put lots of fabulous energy as a group consciousness right now into the 6th, which is all about family and community, by the way. Love you, Sam. Love you, love you. That's my twin brother, by the way. Have a great week. We will talk next Monday. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I feel all of your energies and your love, and I think it's fantastic. So I send you love and light, and have a great week. Night.